Good morning to you. Sorry to wake you up on a good Sunday morning, but then I thought I will complete this so that this paper will be finished. That's the idea behind today's thing. Though I also felt very lazy today, but then we have to do our job, right? So let the others join if they are somebody of them may be joining a little later. So we'll start. And by the by, all the videos that we have done now, all the sessions that we have done, I've actually put in YouTube. Suppose you feel anything that you are not clear while you're doing it, at that time you can just uh, message me. I'll tell you, I'll send you the particular link so that you can, if you want to see that particular one, you can look at it. It is available. I have already yesterday said and uploaded all the videos, whichever, as except the first day, because the first day there is some issue. The first session, first day, first session. So the way I've done is that each day I have numbered it with a number. So, so GST I've put it separately. So GST I have done it separately. So like that, it is term wise. I've given the term. So we have done one. We did here when we were here physical mode. We did that. I think is November 2020, and in online mode we have done Jan 2021, July 2021, and now we are doing December 2021. So this December GST is what we are going to know now. The other one we have done GST. So GST I have named it separately. So it will be there in that, so you can check it out. So those who want anything, you can just tell me in case if you want a particular one, then I will send it to you. So let's move on. This is the first problem in that second part. It's 8 marks. This problem is a little different from the way we have discussed till now. What the earlier way, the way it was done was output tax, input opening, then add input, total, input, and then the set off. But here they have little bit done it. It's a little easier. Now what, please read. When you read it, don't make a mistake. Now see what they have said. ABC, registered supplier. It has calculated the output net liability, this is not the input tax credit, after adjusting ITC in the books. So which means already whatever is the output liability and the input has been adjusted. This is a net liability as of now. When you read it, don't take it as input tax credit. Please be careful. That's why there's a little twist to this problem is what I told you. So if you don't read it properly, you will get it wrong. So be careful with this type of thing. So already this is the liability determined, net liability, output minus input as of now. More than that, apart from that, what they have done, they are going to tell you some more things which you need to decide and see whether the liability is going to increase or decrease. That is the basic idea. Now, following information has been provided by ABC Limited. What are the information? Now, this is a table. Now, mind you, you should be happy that the paper is given like this because reading is much easier. So earlier I used to think that too many pages, but when you're reading, look at only this page, only this paragraph and concentrate there. Don't look at anything else when you're reading the exam. You understand? So that helps you to isolate or focus only in that paragraph. Forget about the other thing that paper contains. Just look at it. That will help you to read it in a much better way. So the company has given who? ABC. 5 trucks to one of the transporters in Vadodara, a goods transport agency. That means they are owning 5 trucks. They are not a goods transport agency. They have not told like that. They are giving it to another goods transport this thing. Let me see, just read once more whether they have mentioned anything about their business in the first part. Because everything reading, a registered supplier only they are saying. They are not saying anything about that he's a goods transport agency. He's not a goods transport agency. That is what you should assume. Required, you can write it there in the notes also that, you know, he's not a goods transport agency. But he is supplying 5 trucks to a goods transport agency. Of what? His 5 trucks. He is giving to a goods transport agency for transporting the goods for 10 days. The hiring charges 7,500. Now the question per truck per day. So total, that's how they got 3 lakhs. Now the question is whether this will be an output liability for him. That is the question. Because he is giving that his trucks to hire to a goods transport agency. Now the question there is output liability or no, or there is an exemption for it under the exemption notification is what needs to be determined. So this is how you have to analyze the problem and where you have to search for it, where in your brain you have stored the data, and from there you have to pick it up. So I'm not telling the answer. Let us look at the answer when we do it. Let us understand the question. So I've looked at the first box. I didn't think about the second box. Now I'm going to look at the second box totally. Only the second box I'm going to concentrate. Only this, nothing else. I'm not going to look at anything else. I'm going to read it. The company sold goods to X and company. So this ABC, you can write like this also. Huh? So for you to understand X and company. Otherwise, you'll not understand. On 6th Jan 21. With the condition that 2% interest per month will be charged if the XN company charged on the invoice value if XN company failed to make the payment within 30 days of delivery of the goods. After delivery, if they don't pay within 30 days, then there will be interest. Goods were delivered and also invoice was issued on 6th. So 6th is the date, everything. X paid it on 20th February along with applicable interest. Now, what is the interest? 2% per month. Now, what is the delay? The due date will be 5th of, how many days? 30 days. Now, 5th means it may not be 5th, maybe 4th. So, 4th to 20th. What is the gap? This number of days is the delay. For this delay, you have to charge 2%. You have to calculate on 5 lakhs. That's the invoice value. Whatever is the amount, let me try to calculate what is the amount. 5 lakhs into 2%. How many days is this? 1 second. 20 minus 4 plus 1. 17 days. So 5 lakhs into 2% divided by 365. Again, 360, 65, all those things, variables will come. It's coming to 465. I'm not sure whether I have done it correctly. We'll check in the answer whether it's different, but approximately it is coming to this. Or is there any other way of doing it? We'll have to see. Now, invoice value they are saying now, mind you. It's not, this is not invoice value. It's only the amount of bill value. That is a taxable value. So, invoice value will be 5 lakhs into, assuming that it is 18% CGST. So 5,90,000 is your invoice value into 2% divided by 360, say, into 17 days. That is coming to approximately 557. We'll see what is the figure that they are arriving at. But this is the way you need to calculate the figure and decide. Now, whether this interest is taxable or not is a question we need to see. Or is it taxable for this person? Is it a taxable value or not? Or taxable service or not is what we need to look at to be included as a liability. I'm just explaining the problem so that you understand. Each one will have to be looked at as a problem. Now, next is what? Again, look at it only separately. The company sought legal consultancy for its business from A and Associates, a partnership firm situated in Bhuj. So he is also in Surat, which is in Vadodara, which is in Gujarat. This is also so. It is intrastate. Now this legal associates with this thing is a partnership firm. Therefore, reverse charge will be applicable. Now, when reverse charge is applicable, first it will become your reverse charge. You have to take the liability and you can take the input tax credit also. That is a logic about it. Now, let's look at the next part of the question. Only this again, concentrate only on this. A company ordered 300 packets of tools which are to be delivered by the supplier of Delhi via 3 lots of 1000 packets each. Supplier raised the invoice of full quantity in February. The last lot were delivered in April. Now, time of supply for lot supply is the last date on which delivery is taken. If you look at time of supply, this is what is given. Therefore, the time of supply will be April. We are doing for February, I think, or March, I think, the previous year. So this will not be available. This is going to the next month. Though full invoice has been raised, he cannot claim the credit because the time of supply shifts. The company supplied 10,000 packets of tools to one of its customers at 10. Again, look at this only. One of his customers at 10 per packet in Gujarat in January. Afterwards, the company revalues its price to 9. That means from 10, they have given a discount per packet. The company issued credit note. Now the question is whether discount, because he's reducing the value. He has already sold at 10 rupees per packet. He has already paid the output tax liability. Now 9 rupees has been revised to 9 rupees. So discount he has to give with a credit note. Whether the discount can be reduced from the value of output liability is what is the question. Now mind you, there is no agreement, prior agreement. The discount is not as per the in the invoice itself. It is given subsequently. There is no prior agreement. So 15.3 you have to take. Section 15.3 what it says, unless there is an agreement, post supply discount will not be available. Now value of GST rate, everything, and you compute the net liability. So it is a little different from the earlier problem. Earlier problem we did this output, input, we had to calculate, set it off. Now here they have started here. They have already set it off. From here, they are given certain information to arrive at that means they have not considered this here or here. So they are asking you to consider it in this bottom part and find out the net liability. That is a change in the way the problem has been set. Don't get mixed up. It's a similar thing only. So let us look at the solution. Now, as I told you, they are starting with the net liability, which is given in the problem. This is the starting point, is net liability. It is not output liability, it's not input. It is output minus input for the month of February. Now, whichever ones is missed out, those ones have to be considered. Add trucks given on hire to goods transport in the exempt wide notification number 22. Please check these in the text or wherever you have studied from. Note down these ones. Next is what? GST on that interest on late payment invoice, 5,90,000 as well. Invoice value is 5,90,000. We calculated. That is at 18% everything. Interest on late payment is 5,900. How they are calculating for 15 days. Oh, this is 2% per month. That is a mistake I did. I think I made a mistake of looking at, let me see what they have said. See, that's what I'm saying. What is the question saying? 2% per month. Per month, see, I made a mistake. I thought it is per year. So that is a mistake. These are mistakes that we are prone to doing. Be careful while reading the question and write it down. So 30 days they have taken. They have taken 15 days. How 15 days? They have calculated 15 days, I believe. So now what is happening? 5,900, 5,90,000 into 2%, 15 by 30, you are getting 5,900. But 5,900 is the interest. So that is 5,900 is taxable value of interest plus GST. So this is 100, this is 18. So this is 118. Therefore, how much is your tax? That is what they have calculated here. So 5,900 is the total value, including, that is interest plus tax. How much is GST? That is coming to 5,900 into 18 by 118, 900. And that is taken as IGST, because I think it is, what is the reason why it is taken as IGST? Let us look at it. Oh, he is sitting where? Surat, Gujarat. But why they have taken IGST? Not sure. So here, this is all, Vadodara is also in Gujarat, but he's supplying to that. But why, I have to check. I'm not able to tell you. So here, add interest on late payment is taken on GST, but they have taken IGST. This I will check and tell you why this is IGST. Maybe it is told that in this case, when interest is being charged, it should be charged IGST, but I'm not sure why, because the supplier is in Surat. This person is also in Vadodara. That is probably the reason. Let us see in the question in Singhania how it is given. Company is in Surat. 5 trucks transporting Vadodara. Why it is, we have to check. I have to check that. I am not too sure why they have taken that, but it must be some reason why they have done that. Anybody of you got an answer to this? If you have seen this issue, you can just mute and unmute and say why it is IGST. Okay.
The second part in there, company sells goods to Y and who?
The interest. Oh, the second part. Okay. I thought it is for the other one, right? One second. Let me read that question. Oh, Delhi. Correct. Sorry. I missed it. Correct. It's for the Delhi. That is why. Correct. Amita, is you who told, whoever has answered it correctly. That is the reason I missed it. See, this is what I'm saying. In the exam, we have to be very careful. These are the mistakes that we generally do. You have to read it carefully. Where? So, because it is Delhi, even the interest will be IGST. That's why. Correct. Thank you very much. But that only reiterates the point that we have to be careful with the way we are reading the question. So I was a little careless in reading the question, see what resulted. Now, next is input tax credit in respect of legal service on reverse charge. So the liability at same place, 9%, 9%, 13,000 is being taken. Input is being taken here, but on reverse charge, liability is being added here, see. So forward charge, for the purpose of forward charge liability, this is being reduced. But here it is being added as a liability. So there is no impact actually. Now, less input tax credit on 3,000, next one, 3,000 packets of tools available in April only. Why? Because the last lot was delivered in April. Therefore, there will be no impact on this, no effect. In April only, you will get it. Discount pertaining to 10,000 packets of discount is given by X or whatever the ABC on supply of tools not known at the time of supply. Therefore, it shall be not excluded. That means you will cannot get the benefit of the discount. You need to pay for the full amount at the rate of 10 rupees, which you've already paid. That 9 rupees, that 1 rupee discount, whether you can reduce it in the value or not is a question. No, you cannot do it. Now, mind you, as I told you, this is the tax amount we are calculating. That is what you have to be careful. So all these are tax amounts. It's only the net liability we are calculating. Unlike the earlier one where we calculate the output liability from the taxable surge, here you don't have to do it. So that you get this amount, and to that as I told you, the reverse charge is being added. So the total liability comes to this. So if you know the sections, if you know the process, if the way they are questioning, you will be careful. Then you have got a lot of chance of getting it right. Even though one or two may go wrong, that doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. That is bound to happen. But the reading also where you have to be careful. See, reading the way I made a mistake, this should not happen. AB Limited, registered company, next question. Registered company in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, has provided the following service for October. So now again, this is exemption notification. Exemption notification. So how much exemption notification is there? See, I told you, that's why read it, because that is what is important. A lot of questions are being asked that. Service of transportation of students, faculty, staff from home to college and back to Commerce College, a private college, providing degree of BCom, etc. This benefit of exemption is available to certain situation only. We have to check whether it is available or not. Next, online magazine. Again, when you read it, you can isolate it and read it, only this part. Online magazine containing question bank, latest update in laws to students of PQR, offering degree courses in LLB, LLM. Now we have to see whether there is an exemption notification for that. Housekeeping service too. So all these, this particular entity is doing. So all this guy is doing. Different services is doing. Who is this? AB Limited. It's a registered company in Chennai. So housekeeping services he is doing for T coaching center 50,000. Security service to N higher secondary school 3,25,000. All exemption notification. Services providing breakfast, lunch, dinner to students of ABC Medical College, offering degree courses in law, in recognized by law in medical field. All are exclusive of GST. If you know this exemption notification, it is very easy. Even today, it is not late. You got still 1 week to go. Keep reading that again and again and again. You will get at least 6 marks there. And even in your MCQs also. See, for the month, that is what they are saying. So let us look at the solution, what they are saying. Services of transportation of students, faculty, etc. College, a private college, providing degree. It is, this is a question, sorry. So services of this thing, entry number 66 is available only if such service is provided to an institute which provides preschool education or education up to higher secondary or equivalent. Exemption in this case is not available. It's not for preschool or higher secondary, it's more than that. Therefore, it will not be available. Therefore, it's taxable. Next, services pertaining to online magazine, entry number again 66. Magazine to education students to law college. Exemption is available, nil. Now only look at, so what I suggest is last 7-8 terms. You take the exemption notification number and mark it in your text wherever you have studied and go through it again and again. At least that, and cover then the other ones which are not come. So that will give you an idea. Next. Services relating to housekeeping, again entry number 66. Only if the recipient of service is preschool education or higher secondary. Here, it is not to this, it's for a higher education, housekeeping. Therefore, it is 50,000. So what is it given for? Coaching institute. So it will not be available. Next, security service to a higher secondary school. It is higher secondary, it is available. Again, entry number 66. So it is available. Services providing lunch, breakfast, dinner to medical college. Exemption wide entry number 66 is available only if such service is provided to an institute which provides preschool education and education higher secondary or equivalent. Exemption not available because it is for medical college. So therefore, it will not be available. So total taxable value is so much. Finished. Problem over. So simple. See, 6 marks, you can get it. That's why you need to be, if you need this thing itself, you will get a lot. Again, I think another problem on aggregate turnover or registration requirement basically. Q Limited is engaged exclusively in supply of taxable goods from the following states. The intrastate supplies for the month are as follows. Intrastate. Madhya Pradesh, 5 lakhs. Gujarat, 14 lakhs. Tripura. So this Q is engaged in exclusively supply of taxable goods from the following states. He is in 3 states and everything is intrastate. This is intrastate. This is intrastate. This is intrastate. Now, what is the total amount? 5 plus 4, 19, I think 31 lakhs. Right? Now, 31 lakhs is whether it needs to take registration is a question and give explanation. Will your answer be different if Q Limited supplies petrol and diesel from Tripura instead of any other taxable goods? Now, this you need to look at the material and read because there is a little bit of confusion in Singhania's text because I'm not able to make out the second part. The first part is okay. Now, here's a saying what? Aggregate turnover of G Limited 31 lakhs. GA Limited is engaged in making intra supply from Tripura also. Threshold limit is 20,000. So that will be applicable. However, a person is engaged in supply of goods and services from Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura. Threshold limit is 10 lakhs. Since G is engaged in supply of goods from Tripura, threshold limit is 10 lakhs. See, normally it is 20 lakhs. So this, when you read it, it leaks. So you have to cut this up and read it. This part you keep it separately. I'll do it again. This part, either stating it. Then this is you have to read it separately. That means this is a normal thing for 20 lakhs. But because it is from Tripura, the limit is 10 lakhs. So therefore, aggregate turnover being 31, registration is required. So in certain cases, there is an exemption, which is a higher exemption of 20 and 40, but only in certain cases. So that is what they are talking about in the second part of the question. If G is making supply of non-taxable goods, petrol, diesel from Tripura, the applicable threshold will be not reduced to 10,000. However, enhanced a threshold limit of 40 lakhs will be available. As aggregate turnover is less than 40, registration is not required. Now, this part I am not convinced with the way I've looked at. Somewhere they have given this para number. I am not able to understand from the para. Please check in your material how it is given, this part. That is, I'll explain that. Normally, you can say aggregate turnover checking will be for these states, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, etc. And the other one is others. Now, let me see if I can get the... I think there's more space in this. Here. So I'll write it here. So aggregate turnover checking is 2 types you have to do. One is that Manipur, Tripura, Mizoram and all that. And another one is others. Normally it is 10 lakhs. And the other one is 20. But there is a higher amount. At that time, it will become 20 lakhs and 40 lakhs. But there are certain conditions for this higher limit that you need to check. What are the conditions? If that is satisfied, then only it will be available. Okay. Now let us read on to the next part of the question. Next question is 7A. An order is placed on T Limited Sholapur on 8th. Again, look at it only this. 8th August for fabric to make garments. Company delivered the fabrics on 9th. 18th it was got the order. 4th it has delivered. After completion of the order, invoice was raised on 15th September. The payment against this was received on 30th September. Determine the time of supply. Okay. We'll look at the answer and then read the next problem and then look at the answer together. So the dates are, it got the order on 18th, delivered the fabrics on 4th, and after completion, it invoiced on 15th. The payment was received on 30th. So what is the time of supply is what they are wanting you to check. Let us look at the next. HM Industries engaged in service of transport for road transport for a consignment on 20th May. It engaged a transporter. However, the consignment could not be sent immediately on account of strike in a factory. Instead, was sent on 20th July. So see, invoice was received from the transporter on 20th June. 20th June, the transporter gave the invoice and payment was made on 25th of August. What is the time of supply for the transporter service? Now see, he has been engaged on 20th. He raised the invoice on 20th June. But actually the transport took place on 20th of July. And payment was made by HM to the transporter on 25th August. So what is the date is what they are asking. Okay, that is next part of the question. Let us quickly look at it. We got little time. Time of supply, X limited. The date of, what is this thing? General rule, date of supply of invoice, a last date when the invoice is ought to be issued. A registered dealer is required to issue before or at the time of delivery of goods to the recipient. Consequently, in the case, time of supply will be 4th. So if you look at the problem again, delivery has taken place when? 4th. When was the invoice after the thing? It has been raised. So this is earlier. So this will be the date of time of supply. Okay. Please go through it again. Please just time, because this you need to look at the theory properly and take care. As far as second part of the question is concerned, what are they saying? Service pertaining to transportation, there are two possible situations. Goods Transport Agency does not charge GST. That means it is on forward charge. It is on forward charge. Does not charge on 12%. In this situation, tax is payable by this they are doing. Goods Transport Agency is not doing forward charge. Therefore, reverse charge mechanism will apply. Then the time of supply under reverse charge will be date of payment or 61st day of the invoice. So date of payment is 25th. 61st date of invoice is June 20th plus 61 days, August 20th. Therefore, consequently, the date of supply will be August 20th, 2022. This is if the transport agency is not doing forward charge, but it is going to do, they going to tell you, no, I'm not doing forward charge, you do reverse charge. Then this company which is taking the services of the transport agency, for that the time of supply will be, they have to do reverse charge, right? So that will be 20th of August. What is the second this thing? When the transport agency going for forward charge, they are liable. In this situation, tax is payable by forward charge by whom? By the transport agency. Time of supply is the date of invoice or the date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, where invoice is issued within 30 days of provision. This is a normal rule. Therefore, that supply will be 20th of this thing, whichever is earlier. Invoice date, when was the invoice date issued by the Goods Transport Agency? It is June 30th. So that will be the June 20th. That will be the date of supply. Payment has happened. Date of provision was happened July. Date of provision of service is July 31st. But they have issued the invoice. So this will be the time of supply. For forward charge. Forward charge by whom? By the transport agency. GTA. They are going to pay it. Let's look at the next question. PQR Limited has filed the GSTR 3B return for the month of August 20th within the due date 29. It was noticed in that the tax dues for August 20th has been short paid by 10,000. Shortfall as 10,000 was paid through cash ledger and credit ledger amounting to 7,500, 2,500 respectively while filing the next month's return, which was filed on 2011. Examine and compute the interest. What would be the answer if GSTR 3B for the month of August has been filed belatedly on 2012? So this first situation was filed on time, but they realized that 10,000 is there. That has been corrected in the month of October and it was filed on 2011. Another situation is, no, they have not filed the August return. They have realized it, how to calculate interest. That is a question there. Next, this one, casual tax bill. I may not get time, but you can, that handicrafts thing, please look at the solution. I may be short of time. Let me see. This one I'll just discuss and close it. So here, interest on this liability, short payment of August 22 is submitted within the due date. There, in the return, one bill of August 22 consists of GST of 10,000 not included. Now, what they're saying, pertaining for such situation, interest is payable under 50 at the rate of 18% for the period for which there is a this thing. ABC will be liable to pay 10,000 rupees from September 21st, because that is the due date of filing the return for August, to November 20th, being 300 rupees at this. This is the way they are calculating. Because October return can be filed in November, they have filed up only on 20th October. Therefore, up to that date, there will be a delay. Proviso to this thing is, if interest is payable in respect of supplies made during a tax period declared in the GST, that means in this case, they have not filed August, but the return itself is delayed. In that case, what happens if ABC files GST return for the month of August 2022 on November 20th, 2022, after the prescribed due date, then this will be 10,000 will be paid in November. Interest will be charged and the net tax liability paid through electronic cash ledger, that is 7,500 he can pay. In this case, interest liability will come to 226. See, 61 days here. It's a little different. 7,500 only, which is being paid by cash because input already he has got. So you can adjust that 2,500 and only balance he has to pay by cash ledger. Only on the cash amount interest is charged at this rate. That's how it completes. So I think we are almost done. 1 minute, just 1 minute is there. So I'll just go through the solution of the casual this thing and that will be done. X, a casual dealer, casual taxable person is notified handicrafts. There's a question. One second. The rest two are last two part is a theory question, QR code and invoicing. So here registration of casual taxable person is required on compulsory registration on quantum of aggregate turnover. The aggregate turnover is 18 lakhs. Registration by X is required. However, the following conditions have to be satisfied, registration is not required. So normally for without irrespective of quantum, it is required, but in certain cases not required. When it is engaged in handicrafts, interstate handicraft, turnover is less than 20 and 10 crores, he is having a